Hey, I'm glad you're here today. Today we're going to talk about 5 things you need to know before you buy a house in Puerto Rico. So if you're considering buying something, property, an Airbnb, something to live in, you're going to retire there, whatever it is, these are 5 tips you need to know before you buy a house in Puerto Rico. Let's get into it.
Shut up and sit down.
Okay, number 1, buyer's agents don't exist in Puerto Rico. Okay.
Yes, we do. I'm a buyer's agent in Puerto Rico. I can help you out.
They'll be in the comments down there. There are some buyer's agents, but for the most part, the agents don't list their properties, most of them. 90% of the agents in Puerto Rico don't put their properties on the MLS because they want to get both sides of the deal and get the whole commission. So finding a buyer's agent is very difficult because they know that most of the properties they can show you, they're not going to get a commission on it. So if you want a buyer's agent in Puerto Rico, you can get one, but more than likely you're going to need to pay them 2 or 3% out of your own pocket as a buyer. So whatever the sales price is, add on to that 2 or 3% for your buyer's agent to represent you. And I'll say, if you do work with a buyer's agent, I would highly consider getting if you don't speak Spanish or you're not fluent in Spanish, I would highly consider getting a bilingual agent, especially when you get to contract negotiations, because even my wife is from Spain and she didn't recognize a lot of the legalese terms in the contract in Puerto Rico. So we'll get more into that in a minute, but just plan on doing most of the legwork yourself. And if you want a buyer's agent, you got to pay him with your own dineros. Number 2, this is an important one. Make sure the property is properly titled and that you can get the title into your name. There's a lot of properties in Puerto Rico that haven't been separated off onto their own titles. And this is something you can do a little bit of legwork and figure out how to do it yourself. I can go deeper into this in another video if you want. Your attorney will handle most of this for you. You need to make sure you get a good attorney. But be sure you do your due diligence on whether the property is titled correctly and you can get the title into your name. This is very important in Puerto Rico. So number 1 and number 2 both refer to getting a good attorney. You need to have a great attorney in Puerto Rico. Again, a bilingual attorney if you're not fluent in Spanish or not a native Spanish speaker. When I bought my house in Puerto Rico, I did not use a buyer's agent. I did all the legwork myself, and I only dealt with the seller's agent, and the seller's agent did not speak English, and the contracts were all in Spanish. So my attorney translated the contracts into Spanish and English, like on the same piece of paper. That way, this is very important also. So you have an English line and a Spanish line together on the contract together, so that it's not like an English contract and a Spanish contract, because things could be different. It needs to be translated onto the same contract. So be sure you have a good attorney that can do all of this for you. I had a lot of people reach out to me and ask me who my attorney was in some of my other videos, and I sent a ton of people over there that were kind of tire kickers and wasted their time. So I'm not referring anybody to attorneys right now, so don't ask me who my attorney is. You'll have to find one for yourself. Number 4, get a good home inspection. I paid cash for my house, and so I didn't need inspections and things for mortgages, and I didn't really care about little problems, but I wanted to know that the big things were good, structural things, roofs, electrical, plumbing, that sort of stuff. You may need to get a structure inspection, an electrical inspection, a plumbing inspection. Sometimes an inspector doesn't do all of those things, so you may have to get more than one inspection done, but it's worth the money if you're not familiar. Like, I've never bought a concrete house. I didn't know anything about houses with concrete walls and concrete ceilings and concrete floors and concrete roofs and everything. So it was all a little bit new to me. So I paid to have a really good home inspection done, and I would advise you to do the same. And number 5, this is something that I learned the hard way. If you're planning on buying a fixer-upper or doing any renovations to the property, I would suggest don't plan on doing them unless you're going to be there to oversee them and on a daily basis be involved in the renovations and be there working alongside the guys or whatever you're going to do. I tried to do it. I live in St. Thomas and living with the house in Puerto Rico. I thought I could easily jump back and forth, and I just didn't jump back and forth as much as I probably should have. And every time I wasn't there, nothing was happening. Months would go by and I would be like, well, I guess I'm not going to go over there because nothing's happened for 2 months. And I think if I would have been there, things would have gone smoother and things would have got done quicker. I'll do a whole video on all the problems in my Puerto Rico house that happened because I wasn't there next time I'm over there, which will be probably in about a week or 2. So stay tuned for that. I'll link to a video up here about my house if you want to watch the series, my remodel series. I haven't put that into a playlist, but I will be doing that. So I'll put a link to that. And I have lots of other videos on buying houses in Puerto Rico. I have master classes that are 20-minute long videos if you want. But I just want to do, I didn't have such good equipment. I'm out of focus in some of my old videos. So I want to go back through some of my old content and just kind of condense it, make it shorter, make it looks a little bit better with my awesome new background I got back here, my new camera, my new lights. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Give me a thumbs up if you do, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that already. Those things help me get these new lights and cameras because I'm actually making a little bit of money because people subscribe and people hit the like button and more people watch the videos. So it not only helps more people see them, but it helps me improve the channel. So thank you if you can do that for me, and I'll see you in the next video.